I'm going to go ahead and take my MAC Painterly Paint Pot and this synthetic brush and just go ahead and spread it all over my eye. This is going to go ahead and make sure your eyeshadow stays in place all day. There's no creasing, or actually stays on perfectly well. If you're going to do all that work, you want to make sure that that baby's not going to go anywhere. You want to show off the world what you're capable of. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my Real Techniques blending sponge and just going to go ahead and set it with some leftover translucent powder. Going to take this Beauty 360 brush and I'm going to make sure just everything is well seamlessly blend. I'm going to go ahead and take my Tarteist Pro palette in that color Classic. And this is just going to serve as always just as something to set my my eyeshadow primer, just to make sure it gives it a really nice canvas when it comes to adding more colors. Gonna go ahead and take Whimsy with that Sigma 3E25 brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place this on the outer corner and then bring it to the inner corner, just as always, round motions and windshield wiper motions. I feel like this technique helps me blend the colors a little bit better without much effort put into it. Yes, the brush is a little dirty just because I actually did this look the day before and I just wanted to recreate it just because I feel like it's very easy. It's very simple to recreate. It takes a while just on the blending part, but there's actually no rocket science to it. It's just very easy to recreate. So as you can see here, I'm going ahead and just keep blending everything. I do kind of pass over my lid just a little bit, but actually I'm not adding any more color to it. I'm just using what I do have on the actual brush. So what I do is once I place and I feel like it is where it is, I'm going to go ahead and just keep blending. So I just always make sure I spend a lot of time blending. I'm going to go ahead and take this Sigma E40 with no color, just making sure I blend everything out. I wanted to make sure that this video actually focused a lot on the eyes, just so you can see the steps that I take. I'm not a professional, but this is how I make sure everything is well blended. Taking the Sephora Pro Blending Blush and taking that color, I forgot what that color is, you guys. But I think it's Fierce. I'm going to go ahead and blend it right on my inner crease. Just making sure I place it perfectly well. As you can see, I like using this kind of brushes to place color just because I feel it blends and adds the color all at once, making sure that I don't have to use different brushes for one single step. So just make sure you keep blending while you're applying the color. It's just going to make it a little bit easier on yourself rather than if you were to add everything before and then just go ahead and blend where everything you already have everything. So I didn't actually add more of that Whimsy color, but whatever I had left on the brush, I just want to make sure I don't lose that color top there. Going back in with that brush and that color, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit more of No Filter. I didn't actually put the clip in there, but that's what I'm actually going to put. So I'm going in with Profesby, I believe, or Profesh, with that MAC 217, and I'm actually just placing that one. Actually, no, guys, I'm actually going in with Mod. Sorry. I'm going in with Mod and I'm using that 217 brush, and I'm actually going to go ahead and, like I said, just place it there and blend at the same time with that Sephora brush. I'm going to take this Smashbox brush and I'm going to go in with Drama, and I'm actually just going to focus this exactly right on the crease. As you can see, I'm not taking it up. I'm just focusing it where I want it to be. This is the color that I actually want to stand that up a little bit more after I place a color on my lid. So just taking that brush with no more color and just blending everything at the same time. If your arm hurts when you're doing your eyeshadow, that's because you're doing it right. You're blending until your arm falls off. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but that's the intention we're all shooting for. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to take, again, that color from that Tarte palette. I'm going to go ahead and take Trendy and use the mighty old finger to go ahead and place it right on my eyeshadow, guys, on my lid. I'm using my finger because I feel like this helps spread the color a little bit better. I feel like it helps melt it and just place it where actually I want it. And the finger does add more pigmentation to it. Just the warmth of the finger actually just makes everything better. As you can see, I'm only placing it on the middle or where my fat finger actually reaches. I'm actually going to take a brush right now and I'm actually just going to focus that exactly on the inner corner and the outer corner where my finger wasn't allowed to reach. just because I have my nails right now. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to place any color in the other places of the part. So I'm just making sure I keep placing it, everything where it has to go, and just making sure that I add the pigmentation of it. I would wish I would add some Duraline or some Fix Plus just to make sure the color would stand out more, but obviously I always think that when I'm already done, and what can be done after that? Nothing. So, excuse me guys for my raspy voice. I think I'm getting sick, which is no fun. So I'm going to take this MAC 217 and just making sure all the sides are blended. Just make sure everything is blended. So here I'm taking my Urban Decay brush, and I'm actually using this color to add more of that trendy color. I really like this brush just because I feel that it actually helps me pick up the color and place it. And it adds, as you can see, a little bit more pigmentation than the other brush actually was helping me with. I usually use this brush for these kind of eyeshadows. I'm going to go ahead and take the MAC 217 now and just keep blending the outer sides. And I'm going to actually add more of that color on my eye. Just making sure. I'm going to take that Urban Decay brush palette and add that pink color with the Sonia Kashuk. And just placing that color where I actually put Whimsy, since I want more of a pink undertone on the actual eye. Taking that other color, I'm placing that with the same brush and putting it on top of Trendy, just because I feel that I wasn't actually getting the color payoff that I was looking for. But as you can see, this one actually made it stood up a little bit more. Yes, the lighting is not that good, so not much of a difference. I'm taking in this Sonia Kashuk powder brush and just taking off all the excess powder that I had on my face, well, actually under my eyes. Using my beauty blender, which is, while it's still damp, just kind of pressing in any of the leftover powder. This technique for me helps me a lot, just because it helps me make sure I set my eyes and there's not going to be any creasing later on. I'm going back to that brush, just making sure I blend out all the corners, making everything very seamlessly and very effortlessly. Taking Michelle from the Violet Boss Ride or Die palette with this Beauty 360 brush, just making sure I place that on my brow bone. I didn't want to add any shimmer to it. I didn't want it to be so much on the eyes. Taking that brush again, this brush has no colors, so it helps me blend out everything perfectly. I'm actually going back in here with Drama and this MAC 217. Just going ahead and placing that on the actual, on top of that color. Like I said before, this is the actual color that I wanted to show up on the crease. I'm going to take this Morphe brush and my MAC Give Me Sun. As always, this is my Ride or Die bronzer. I just feel like it gives a beautiful color, especially for my skin tone. I just feel like it gives me that sun-kissed look. Even though I'm not on the sun anymore. I'm always inside. So I would have preferred I would have used another brush, the one I usually use. But I wanted to try something new for the sake of the video. But I really didn't like it. So I'm going in with my Lorac Pro palette and this MAC 168 with that medium shade. And I'm actually just going ahead and contour my face. As you can see, I'm actually not taking it too far low. I'm actually just stopping there. Just because I want it to look a little bit more natural, even if contouring is not natural. I want to make sure my face is snatched. I'm going to put a little bit more on my forehead. Not too much since I have a small forehead. I'm going to hide the homegirl down there because it refuses to leave me. Your lease is up in my apartment. You need to get out, but she doesn't want to. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just keep blending. Right here, I actually took that medium shade, that darker shade actually in the middle. Just because I want a little bit more dark color on the bottom, it helps hide it a little bit better. So I'm going to take this Real Techniques sponge again and just with whatever powder I have left, just kind of carve the bottom of my cheeks. And I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm actually not going to take it off. I'm actually just going to press it in, just make sure that it's there. And that's that barrier that it's going to help my contour not leave later on in the day. I'm going in with this powder brush just to blend everything. I'm taking the Nicole Guerrero eyelashes. I really like these, the actual concept of them. You can't really see it in the video, but it was a little bit difficult to actually place them just because I feel like they were a little bit stiff, but they were the first time I used them. So I might actually get better going forward. So I'm actually going to take that gold color and put it a little bit just more in the middle of the eyelid, just to add a little bit of pop of color and dimension to it. It looked really pretty on the sun. Just adding that kind of special effect to the lid made a big difference on the way the eye looked. So I'm going in with the Laura Geller and this brush. I'll put the information below. I completely forgot where it's from. I have just gotten it. I haven't used the fan brush for my highlighter in a while, but I really liked how it placed the highlighter. It was kind of something to get used to. So just make sure you pack on your highlighter. Remember, our goal is to make sure people see us from the sky. Going in with my motto in a bottle, because this is what baby helps me make sure that my makeup stays in place. I will, even if I run sweat, baby not going anywhere. I'm using these Sally Hansen tweezers, and just go ahead and just place your eyelashes at best. I always make sure I leave the color tacky, the glue tacky, and always start by placing it in the middle and then the outer corners. Going in with my L'Oreal Carbon Black eyeliner, I'm going to tight line the top and my waterline. Usually when I don't put eyeliner, I actually like to do the top last, just making sure I had more definition to it. I'm going to take this Sigma E20, and I'm actually going in with Drama right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and I blend everything out and place the color very closely to the eyelid. I do want to make sure it kind of smokes out the eyeliner that I placed on the eyelash, on the waterline. Sorry, guys. Now I'm actually going in with Mud, and I'm placing that color right on the top, making sure I blend at the same time. I really love this brush to place under my eyes, just because I really like it. I usually bring my eyeshadow a little bit lower since I do have natural lines at the bottom. It just helps me hide them a little bit more. I'm actually going in right now with that color Punk, the black color in the palette, and I'm actually just focusing this on the outer corner. Going in with my L'Oreal Carbon Black mascara, and I'm just going to put some on my bottom lashes, just making sure those babies are well put together. And right here, I swear to God, I thought I had actually put a little bit of mascara, but girl, false alarm, false alarm. We all know how hard it is to take off mascara once it's already placed in there. I don't know how other people do it. I let it dry, but it doesn't work the same. So just go ahead and just make sure you define your bottom lash line. I'm going in with this Dose of Colors. I believe the color is Cork. If not, I'll put it on the information bar below. And I'm going to make sure just, use this color. I really like the Dose of Color liquid lipsticks. They're very, very comfortable. I love their colors. I'm building up my collection, which means I'm spending more money, but it's okay. I'm going in with this Colourpop liquid lipstick. I believe it's the color Panda, if I'm not mistaken, but like always, put the information down below. And I'm just going to focus this in the middle of my mouth just to give that illusion that my lips are bigger than what they really are. And yes, I did not state that, but the lighting went completely wrong just because the sun came out. I usually use natural daylight for my videos, but it played me so hard that I'm like two different colors in the video. But I'm sorry, guys. I will try to make sure I work this out just so you can actually see the actual color of everything that I put on my face. I promise. So I'm going to go in with this eyebrow brush, and I'm actually using that Urban Decay eyebrow box, and I'm using that dark color and just kind of go ahead and retouching my eyebrows. I had already done them, but I usually like to define them after, just so I can actually make sure I place the color where it's supposed to place or anything like that. So I'll go ahead. If you want to see how I do my eyebrows, just leave a comment below and I'll do an eyebrow tutorial. So I'm going in with this CoverGirl eyebrow gel. I really like this color just because my eyebrows tend to be a little bit darker sometimes. And I feel like this lightens them up, making them look a little bit more natural. And it really doesn't, my eyebrows or my powder or anything I put doesn't move. So this is the finished look. Ignore my wannabe modeling side. And yeah, thank you for taking the time of the day and watching another video of mine. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.